Hey guys, happy Friday. The weekend is here. It's your host, 305 Sports Babe, co-host Lou from Dade, and thanks for hanging out with us on a special happy hour edition of the SoFLo Sports Show tonight.
That's right. We're coming on live right after the World Cup. Another classic World Cup match between Belgium, who ultimately eliminated the United States. They fall to Spain. So Spain is moving on, 2-1 victory for the Spaniards in regulation time, and they are moving on to the semifinals. We're down to 6 teams in the FIFA World Cup.
Yes, we're going to be talking all things World Cup, the USA's disappointing exit against Belgium, which you touched on a little bit, and then give you guys the most updated stand-ins. Of course, Belgium is out, but we have some big games this weekend that we're going to talk about.
Yeah, and we're also going to talk about those red-hot Miami Marlins, hottest team in baseball. It's not up for debate. They don't have the best record in baseball, but as of right now, and pretty much for the last month and a half at this point, they've been playing the best baseball in any league, in any division. They are the hottest team in the league. So we're also going to talk about Giannis picking a new number. I know you have a nice little story that took place with that, so we'll get into that. We are still waiting on LeBron's decision. LeBron James has narrowed it down to anywhere between, depends on who you see and who you talk to. It looks like it's either between the Cavs and the Heat or 2 other teams, which we'll get into a second. The Panthers schedule, the Florida Panthers, let's not forget, are 2-time back-to-back defending, formerly defending champion. The Carolina Hurricanes now have that honor for at least a season here. But the Florida Panthers schedule is coming out sometime next week, as the Dolphins also release their training camp schedule. So we'll give you those dates. And Miami Hurricanes, they'll be here before you know it. Miami Hurricanes football is just 56 days away from tonight. Remember, there's no preseason in college football, so the Hurricanes are going to get right to live action, kicking off the season on a Friday night in Palo Alto versus the Stanford Cardinal on Friday Night Football.
Yeah, so you mentioned Giannis, and if you guys follow me on social media, either on my Facebook at Ashley Dominguez or on my X at 305 Sports Babe, you kind of know the background of the story, but we're going to get into it in a little bit. So I needed my prop, my soon-to-be very expensive collectible to go along with that story. All right, so let's get into it. One of the big stories that is circulating, that is Miami-based, and we sure hope it may be Miami-based for a long time, or at least next season coming up, is LeBron James. We are all waiting on LeBron James's decision to see where he's going to play this upcoming season. He announced that he would not be playing with the Lakers. And so it looks like it's going to come down between the Heat and the Cleveland Cavaliers. And so the Warriors and the 76ers are also teams that are tied to possibly getting LeBron, but it seems like the 2 big ones right now that you're hearing the most, that have the best odds to landing King James, would be his former teams, the Miami Heat and the Cleveland Cavaliers.
Yeah, and I agree, and I think it should be down to those 2. That's why you see in our picture here, the decision 2.0, we're calling this. It's pretty much down to these 4.
Yeah.
Somebody said Minnesota maybe is in the mix, but they've kind of been falling off the back burner there. So it looks like it's pretty much down to these 4, and really it's zeroing in on the Heat and the Cavaliers, as you mentioned, 2 teams he previously played for. Look, I said this, right when Giannis signed with the Heat.
You did.
I really believe that LeBron is coming to Miami. I really do. And the reason why I think so is because he's from Akron. He's from Cleveland.
Yeah.
He's from just outside Cleveland,
Ohio
Akron,
boy.
Ohio. Born and raised, and he's got his whole life to live there. His compound, his mansion, his family is still there.
Yeah.
So he's got his whole life to live there. He's already went there back once when he left us originally, accomplished what he needed to do by bringing them their first NBA title. But I think at this point, I think he's coming to Miami. I really believe that. I think Giannis is a monster move. Donovan Mitchell is a really good player. James Harden, not so much. They got some good bigs there, but Giannis is the play here, and I think he made things right in Cleveland when he went back after leaving, won a title with them, and then he left again. So I think going back a 3rd time, he's already proven what he could do there. He kind of owes us a little bit. He came down here. He said he was going to win not 3, not 4, not 5, not 6. So he owes us about 7, including beating us in the bubble with the Lakers. So he owes us a championship and then some. So I think that the best move for him is for him to come down to Miami, make it right, And I think that's what's going to happen here. I'm not sure when it will, but I think that's what's going to happen. What do you think?
All right, guys, in the chat, I want to know where you think LeBron is going to decide to play this season. What we're hearing is that he's going to make his decision relatively quick, maybe today, right? We don't know. LeBron's kind of always on his own agenda, as we know. So curious to know in the chat, where do you guys think LeBron will essentially maybe have his farewell season this season? I don't know how many more years the guy has. So where do you think that at least he'll play this year? I personally, Lou, I know the attraction of coming to Miami. We're building a really strong team with Giannis, Bobby Porter, obviously with Bam. Bobby Porter Jr. So I said, yes. So there's a lot of potential there, not just to win games, but to bring another championship down to Miami. But then you said it as well. He is from Ohio. He's very strong in his roots in Ohio. They love him up there. Maybe he may just want to, bring it back to hometown one more time. So I do believe that there are two teams that he's looking at. But knowing him, it could be anything. I just think it's either going to be Miami or Cleveland. And I just think that he may just want to go back to home just to bring it back home. And would he get a ring there? Maybe, but he'd have a better shot of getting a ring down here in Miami.
Well, the Cavs are right there. The Cavs were in the Eastern Conference Finals, and so the Cavs are a very formidable team, and so he would definitely have a chance at a ring there. But I think that again, he already got them their ring. He went there twice. A second time, he didn't come here a second time. I think he hurts his brand, believe it or not, if he goes to a new team, an extra team after the Heat, Cavs, and Lakers. If he goes to the Warriors or the Sixers, it would be a fourth team that he goes to. And I think just based on the history alone, the history that he has already had here in Miami, and the history he has in Cleveland, I think it's going to get down to one of those two, as you see here on the screen. You want to check into the chat?
Yeah, so let's see what we got going on here. Miami Mike's here. We have Juan. Hello. Josephine Ebby, the Marlins. Cap, what's up, Cap? Big sis Lisa in there. Hello, Ashley. I love your video on Disney All-Star Sports. Thank you so much. We had such a great time there last week. It's honestly my favorite Disney resort, so I'm so glad you're able to check that out. She said LeBron James should join the Philadelphia 76ers in my book. What about your choice, Ashley? So I think he might go to Cleveland, although it would be really good to have him back down here. Juan said it's Miami. What he's hearing up in North Carolina. Cap said wherever LeBron goes, Draymond follows. Draymond Green, I could see that following. Russ just saying hi, not staying, food shopping. We're more important than feeding yourself, but understood. Juan says the Heat. Maybe Mike says Detroit.
Yeah, and shout out to Calvin in the house too. Calvin says the Heat because he's got his jersey.
And so I was going to say that because we are going to speak about jerseys. That conversation's coming up. Both fan bases still have his jersey. There's plenty of people down in Miami that have the LeBron jersey, and of course in Cleveland. So jersey sales may not be off the shelves because people probably still have their LeBron jerseys. But some jerseys were flying off the shelves last week. Yep,
I think we're going to know here pretty soon. I shouldn't be saying this, and I'm not going to divulge the source, but we were told by someone really close to the situation that the Heat are going to introduce Giannis next Thursday. Next Thursday is the day coming up when they're going to introduce Giannis. And so if that's the case, I don't think they'd want to introduce them separately. I think they want to do a huge, big party.
Oh, my gosh, can you imagine?
Like they did with the original Big Three when they introduced Bosh and LeBron, along with Dwayne Wade coming back to Miami. So I think that's what they want to do. And if the plan is to introduce Giannis on Thursday, I think that, today at some point, or maybe over the course of the weekend, LeBron may let everybody know. But all right, so getting back to that. So before we get his decision on what he's going to play, who he's going to play with next year, we want to revisit the original decision. So the first one that he made, it was 16 years ago today, 16 years ago on Wednesday, in 2010, when LeBron made the announcement. He was at a Boys and Girls Club. And you got to remember, this is before Twitter, before, the news circulating so fast. So this is the way people found out.
And how he said it was, he goes, I'm taking my talents down to South Beach.
It was a very famous line, correct. And he did indeed bring his talents to South Beach. But again, it's incredible. This happened in 2010, 16 years ago, this past Wednesday. And a lot of people were saying that he'd want to do the announcement on the anniversary of the decision. That did not happen. So, now we're 2 days past it. But again, I think the decision is looming and should be announced rather soon than later. I don't think he's going to take the summer to make this announcement, especially if you notice the Heat moves have stopped. The Heat have not signed any other free agents. Neither has the Sixers. Not everything has been in a freeze because you got to save a little money for LeBron James. So we will see how it ends up.
It's very LeBron to do it in the middle of FIFA when we're kind of going down to the Final Four because he likes the attention. So I wouldn't be surprised it happens very soon.
This was a horrible decision, by the way, because he did this, kind of like hinting that he was going to, he did it at a Boys and Girls Club. And I think a lot of people were citing that he was bringing the home aspect of it to stay back home in Cleveland. And when he said Miami, a lot of people burned his jerseys. A lot of people were not happy with the way he made this announcement. But hey, we were happy down here. And
speaking of other announcements, when we had Josh Moser on the show last week, I asked him a question. I said, Josh, with Tim Hardaway Jr. coming down to play in Miami, I said, is he going to wear number 10 like his father did? And Josh said no. And sure enough, just a few days later, we find out that Tim Hardaway Sr. is giving his son, Tim Hardaway Jr., permission to wear that number 10, which is already in the Raptors. So excited to see Junior wear number 10 like his father.
That's right. It really is amazing. He originally was going to wear number 11. His dad's 10, so he figured I'll go the next number up and I'll wear number 11. So that's what was announced first. Tim Hardaway Sr. came out and said, hell no, he's not wearing my jersey. That's up there. So that was, we thought it was over. And Josh Moser reported it as well. That's what the father said it. He made the call. It's his jersey. But I'm not sure if Mrs. Hardaway, the mom, made the decision or kind of intervened. But long story short, there you see it. Tim Hardaway Jr. You see that JR at the end with the period. He will be wearing his dad's number 10 jersey, famously, that hangs in the banners, the rafters of the Kaseya Center, along with Alonzo Mourning, Shaquille O'Neal, Chris Bosh, and Dwayne Wade. All those guys, and Udonis Haslem, of course, obviously. Beautiful. All those guys minus Udonis Haslem are all in the NBA Hall of Fame. And Tim Hardaway, fun fact, Tim Hardaway Jr. said that whenever he came to play the Heat, he always, looked up his dad's jersey up in the rafters, and it said it gave him like a superpower, which explains why he had so many great games against the Heat with the Knicks, with the Nuggets, with the Pistons. I know Miami Mike is in the house. When he came down here with Detroit, Tim Hardaway Jr. balled out. So, and fun fact, the Heat announced that the jersey is going to stay in the rafters. Good. So it's gonna be a very unique setting to have a number retired up in the jersey. And it's going to be in play on the court. So, but there you have it. There are the jerseys. And as you saw, he's going to wear that number 10. So it's going to be a fun time for the Heat fans and Heat family.
So for those who had the number 10 or who have the number 10 Hardaway, just put a little JR at the end, period, and you have yourself a new jersey, essentially. Speaking of new jerseys, all right. So, guys, as most of you know, Giannis Antetokounmpo has been my favorite NBA player for quite some time. Even though he didn't play in the Miami Heat, it's still a guy whenever he would come to town against the Bucks, we'd be there. A guy who I've liked for a long time. So obviously I'm in Dada land right now that my favorite NBA player is now playing for my team. So it was last week on Monday, this Monday that just happened, where it became official on July 6th that the Giannis deal was, completely approved by the NBA, the Heat, and everything. So the Miami Heat store had his jerseys ready to go. And Lou got this. He got an email. We got the tweet. Welcome to Miami 34. They had. That's
the key. Number 34 is the key thing to say.
So we got the emails, get your Giannis jersey as being season ticket holders. They want us to buy it. Everything. Cool. So that day, we made the decision, hey, let's go to the Kaseya Center and get myself a jersey. I want to be one of the first ones to have the Giannis jersey. Big fan, support him, all that stuff. And we're youth size. So how much is the jersey going to be? So get to the Kaseya Center. They close at 4 o'clock at the Heat store. Got there at 3:55. I ran faster than I've ever ran in my life and got into the store and got the jersey. And I was so excited. My problem was that there are so many different colors to choose from, the Vice, this and that. But I went for the classic white, the home white, number 34, size extra large, kids, youth. And I loved it. So they bagged it up.
Show the front again. So if you see it from the front, as you know, if you're a Heat fan, that's most famous for Ray Allen wearing that. And that was a lot of Heat fans were conflicted. Ray Allen's jersey will not be retired here just because people are saying that, but he didn't play here long enough. One championship, Hall of Famer. But yeah, now you see the 34 with the Giannis on there. And yeah, this was a very chaotic couple hours after you released the video, which is on our YouTube channel.
So bought the jersey, then we went to Publix. So went food shopping, came home, and I was like, you know what? Let me do a little content on the Heat store. You guys can see all the jerseys, just something fun to release. As I finished the video, I released the video about a half hour later. Oh, and I sent the picture to my boss saying, hey, look what I bought, blah, blah, blah. So then a half hour later, he was the first one to text me, and he was like, Giannis isn't wearing 34. I was like, what are you talking about? I just bought his jersey. Will Man still had his jersey. Like, he's wearing number 34. The Heat printed his jerseys. And then he starts showing me the tweets. And it wasn't just the tweets from, like, the bot accounts. This is from Tim Reynolds, who is so respected, not even by us, but from everybody who knows his stuff, who covers the Heat. Tim saying Giannis has made the decision that he will be wearing number 7. So I text Tim. Tim's a buddy of mine. I said, Tim, is this right? And he said, yes. The Heat pretty much didn't ask Giannis if it was for sure that he was going to be wearing number 34. They just went ahead and printed the 34s, assuming that he was going to wear 34. And he doesn't want 34 here. He wants number 7.
So a couple of things with that. Per your video, you went into the Heat store. There was actually a concert that night at the Kaseya Center, so we couldn't park anywhere. So I dropped her off. She's the one that went up and got the jersey. And by your video and what you told me, there was hundreds. There was all over, and probably more in boxes. A lot of people bought them online. A lot of people went to the other Heat stores at Dolphin Mall. Even at the airport, they had these jerseys up for sale. So the Heat spent a lot of money in producing these jerseys. Now, obviously, as soon as it was announced he was wearing 7, they cut the sales, no more sales. So you are very fortunate to have a very rare and unique Giannis jersey. And
it's in youth size, too, which is always, not everybody gets youth sizes.
There you go. I definitely could not fit in that. I could maybe get my left arm in it. But what are you going to do with the jersey? A lot of people have asked.
Yeah, so I did this post, and, like, all these Facebook clowns were like, oh, it's fake. How'd you get a 34 jersey? And I'm like, you guys don't realize I live right here next to the Kaseya Center. So anyways, the jersey is real. I didn't get off a Temu. It's a real jersey. Right. So
definitely. You have the receipt to prove
it. So then the Heat announced that they're going to do an exchange. So if you bought the 34 jersey, if you ordered it online, they're not shipping you a 34. They didn't even ship those 34s. Right. It's only if you went in person, and I did. And so my decision with that 34 jersey is I am keeping that 34 jersey. Okay, I'm gonna wear that 34 jersey. I'm gonna get that signed by Giannis. No, because, and then I'm gonna frame it.
Yeah, because here's the thing: it is a collector's item. It's a very rare. A lot of people are gonna take it, exchange it, and get it. But you are going to be one of the few people that have that 34. So it's going to be a collector's item. Who knows? Maybe Giannis decides to change his number down the road. Hopefully he's here for a long time. And maybe he pulls that 34 later on.
Hopefully he fit it to the youth side for a very long time as well.
Hopefully.
And also, I am going to get the number 7 jersey too. I mean, the lucky part, again, is that I fit into the youth sizes. So it is cheaper than the adult sizes. So I am saving a little bit. I'm going to for sure get the 7, and I'm going to get it in black. Originally, I was going to get the black jersey, but the white one just popped at me. But Ash will get the number 7 Giannis jersey, just not now. I'm enjoying my 34. And it was wild. It was very wild.
So right after, the very next day after their mea culpa, they did the wrong thing. They had to correct it. So then they released the Giannis collection with the number 7. And Sammy, who's in the house, shout out to Sammy, Fins TV. Definitely subscribe, like their channel, Fins TV. And so Sammy says that it almost has too many. It almost looks like it's running out of place, and it does. I think that his name is so long it deserves 2 numbers. But I understand. Shout out to Adam in the house too. Adam, you're right. He's more of a Celtic. He's also more of a Sonic and a Milwaukee Buck. He spent a lot of time in the Seattle Supersonics. It's very unfortunate because he spent great years with the Seattle Supersonics. They are no longer a basketball team, even though they may be coming back. Then he spent a short time with the Bucks. He spent time with the Celtics, and then he ended up his career with the Heat. But he was never at a place long enough, except for Seattle, to have his number retired. And hopefully with Seattle coming back to the league as an expansion team, he gets his number 34 hung up and retired in Seattle, which he deserves.
So Joe Evie says, pass it to me. I will she will fit it. She wants it. Well, I think Josephine Evie has a bigger problem because I believe she has 2 Tyreek Hill jerseys. So
Uh-oh.
what is she going to do with those 2 Tyreek Hill jerseys?
Well, Jacob Rodriguez is now number 10, so she just
loves Tyreek.
Tyreek goes move the back. So,
but yeah, that's always the thing when you buy the jerseys. Whether the player retires, it's fine. But if they get traded or they leave, whatever the case may be. But mine was none of that. Mine, the guy hasn't even really stepped foot into the Kaseya Centers of Heat yet. And there was just a lack of communication between the Heat organization and Giannis. So, again, I'm keeping the jersey. I look forward to getting it signed. And
there you go. That's what Vince Sammy says. Vince Sammy says,
I'll get it signed.
So that'll be a great way to do.
I have 2 jerseys in my office that are hanging right now. I have a Sandy Alcantara signed jersey, and then I have my Raheem Mostert. So I do look forward to my third one being the Giannis to complete my girl cave.
The Raheem Mostert jersey is a special one, even though his time here was brief.
Yeah.
He did set the record for most touchdowns in a single season for a Dolphin, more than any wide receiver or running back. Let's see if Devon Achane breaks that. But Mostert right now is the leader in that. So, all right, speaking of weird jerseys, of course, with Giannis coming to the Heat, that means that Heat players went over to Milwaukee, and they finally been posted as to what you're doing. Here's Kel'el Ware holding up he wore number 7 here, which Giannis is going to take, but he's going to be number 9 in Milwaukee, and that's him holding that. This was very strange, seeing Jaime Jaquez Jr., who was a fan favorite down here in Miami. He says that he's super excited. He says what's going on, and the Bucks are retweeting him in Bucks gear there. And then this one hurt the most because Tyler Hero was here the longest, part of 2 Eastern Conference champions teams, had a big run in 2020 in the finals we fell 2 games short of the title against the Lakers in the bubble. And here he is, even though he's training in Las Vegas, the Bucks send him Bucks gear out there, and there you see him in the Bucks shirt, the sweatshirt there.
You say it looks weird and stuff.
It does.
But the Dive Bar had Jason Taylor on their show this week, and Bobby had a great interview with him. And Bobby asked him something along the lines of like, when you went to the Jets that season, how was it? And there's basically not, I don't want to say there's not loyalty to the team, but it's a business. So that's how, Tyler Hero, everyone liked him, this and that, but they're not married to the organization. Us fans want to, love on them and protect them and all that, but there's no loyalty to business.
I get it. And look, to me, that looks weird, but at the end of the day, Tyler isn't going to get his number retired down here, and so if you want to take those out.
I am.
But yeah, so Tyler's was a tremendous part of Heat culture. Thankful. He's going to be wearing number 42, actually, from 14 to 42 up in Milwaukee. But you're right. To me, Jason Taylor is still the all-time weirdest to see him. As great as he was, Hall of Fame career with the Dolphins, to see him in a Jets jersey. He also played for the Redskins for a couple of years, so that was strange. But seeing him in the rival Jet jersey, that hurt. And then on the flip side of that, when Thurman Thomas came down here as a member of the Buffalo Bills to the Miami Dolphins, that was the weirdest of all. So that was very strange to see. You got the other Marlins pictures up?
I'm going to, guys. All right, guys. So
put them on. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So as I put up some pictures, because it is just an amazing time to be a Marlins fan, we're going to talk about them. The Marlins are the hottest team in baseball right now. I got to put them up. Yes. Oh, okay. So I'm putting these pictures up. And what I want to tell you guys is we went to the game on Tuesday, and a little boy came up to me after the game and was like, how'd the Marlins do? And I was like, they won. And I'm like, they're the hottest team in baseball. And he's like, really?
After the game.
And I said, yes. And he didn't believe me. And I said, no, they're really the best team in baseball right now. And it's such a great talk of the town. And they're saying this home series, which we're going to in just a few minutes, is going to have a nice crowd. But it's, I wish it would be like that all the time. And maybe it does take for them to get on a winning streak and to show their talent. But this team is special. And I said this in the beginning of the season. You guys thought I was crazy. But this team is special, and their record is starting to prove it.
Yeah, no doubt. And shout out to Chase. Let's Get Louder. The loud Marlins fan. You can follow him on Twitter. He's the man, one of the biggest Marlins fans out there. So, man.
Sent me an Augustine Ramirez signed autograph card. I really appreciate that.
Cool.
I miss Aug so much.
So I know that, we're all happy, but he's happy as he does a dance after every Marlins victory. And they are awesome. They are going viral. So
having a good time.
Definitely check them out. So Chase, I know this is huge for you, huge for all of us Marlins fans. So absolutely. But yeah, let's look at the standings right now. You see the Marlins right here. They're tied with the Philadelphia Phillies for second place. They're just 3 games back of the Atlanta Braves. That's tremendous. And then if you go over to the wild card, which is really what we're looking at, they are also tied with Philadelphia Phillies for second place, and they are just a half a game back of the Cubs. But right now, you see that little line next to the Marlins, next where it says games back shaded in blue. That means that they are holding that wild card spot, and they have a 3-game lead on the St. Louis Cardinals. So this is just a tremendous, tremendous deal. They are playing absolutely great ball, 52-42, 10 games over. They were 8 games under 500 at the beginning, heading into June, and now they flipped that around. They are 18 games over when you combine both, and they are now 10 games, in the positive over 500, and it's a huge deal.
So after we complete this 3-game home series against the Cleveland Indians, we'll be on the All-Star break. The All-Star game and festivities are in Philadelphia this year. We are sending 2 Miami Marlins to the All-Star game, Otto Lopez and Max Myers. Max Myers was slated to pitch on Sunday, but because he will be heading to Philadelphia, he has been announced that he will not be taking the mound on Sunday. Yeah,
that's right. And look, he's coming. He came off an injury a year and a half ago. He had Tommy John. So, you don't want to, push it with him. You want to take it easy. And so the fact that he can get the rest at the end of the first half, and then maybe even get a break at the beginning of the second half and let him rest that arm. We're going to hopefully need him, deep into the season. So we'll see about that. But these 2 guys right here, deserving All-Stars. I want to throw you some of the numbers. Otto Lopez, second baseman. He's batting .345, 9 home runs, 45 RBIs, 17 steals, and 61 runs scored, and playing a tremendous second base. So shout out to him. As far as Max Meyer, he's 9-1 on the year. Started off 9-0. Tell me if you heard that before. Lebron Hernandez started off 9-0. He tied that record. Lebron also lost on his 10th start. He started out 9-1, and he ended up winning the World Series. So hopefully Max Meyer's in good company. But 9-1, a 2.58, 2.58 ERA, and 116 strikeouts on the year. So again, shout out to these 2 well-deserved All-Stars. I'd also add that Xavier Edwards and Sandy Alcantara also deserve to possibly be All-Stars.
There's so many. You could even get into the argument about Hicks. I mean, Stowers always a name that flies around. Our whole team, in my eyes, are All-Stars. I mean, for God's sakes, Yuri's almost pitched a perfect game last week. They pulled him in the 8th because, yes, he is coming off some injury and stuff, but I really wanted him to finish that game. I do believe he would have pitched the perfect game. And so our pitching, which has been a concern, it looks like it's shaping up. Sandy doesn't look like he's going to be traded. It looks like they want to make him a franchise player, which I'm not complaining. And guys, keep your October open, because I truly believe that we will be seeing Marlins baseball well into October.
Hey, we are in the hunt for a teal October. It would be the greatest thing of all time.
Yeah.
The Marlins have had they've won 2 World Series. People don't forget about that, because they tore those teams down pretty quick afterwards. But for all that, they've never won a division title. So, Sammy, I know you commented there. Sammy, check your rearview mirror, because we're coming. They've never won a division title. And even though Marlins Lone Depot Park opened up in 2012, they have never hosted playoff games at Lone Depot Park. So hopefully they can finish division winners or the first wild card, and we could have home games at Lone Depot Park, which is what we all want.
I am so excited. But, guys, don't be a fan later. Even if your Marlins fandom has been in the closet the last few seasons, you are welcome to come out. We invite you to Lone Depot Park. Again, the Guardians are in town this weekend, 3-game series starting tonight, and then an All-Star break, but you still have the rest of the season to come out. Tickets are very affordable. We have some great opponents, not great, but the Red Sox are coming to town, the Padres, some big names.
Big name teams.
And come in and support the Fighting Fish.
Yep. First pitch tonight, 7:10. You get fireworks after the game, so you pay for a ticket, you get free fireworks.
Military appreciation.
How could you go? Yep, that's why I'm wearing my hat. You got your camouflage pants. But yeah, definitely you got a free. You get a game, you get free fireworks tonight. Can't go wrong with that. Charles Johnson Legends pin tomorrow night, and then you get a Billy the Marlin shoulder plush on Sunday. That's a 1:40 start, first pitch on Sunday. So a lot to look forward to. And then, of course, the Marlins they've won 6 in a row, 2 sweeps in a row, and this is a trending thing as well. After every win at home,
they go like this.
If you are at Lone Depot Park, definitely head your way to behind the Marlins dugout. They take a group picture after every game. So if you find yourself behind the Marlins dugout after a win, you could come out on Marlins Twitter or on their website, when they take their team winning picture.
Yeah, and last but not least, with the Marlins, shout out to the Marlins organization for having such a wonderful initiative to support Venezuela. Not only did they do a food and supply drive, they did donate $100,000 right off the bat. And then additionally, they had 50-50, which half of the proceeds ended up going to Venezuela. So obviously that was big, heavily funded by Javi Sanoa, a Venezuelan native, but we have a heavy South Florida Venezuelan community. So shout out to the Marlins for really taking the lead on that.
Yeah, and no doubt. And so one more thing with the Marlins, again, they have 3 games to close out the first half of the year before the All-Star break at home. Their franchise record is 53 wins for the first half. They're currently at 52 wins, and they got 3 games to play. So if they win 2 out of 3, they will set a new franchise record for wins before the All-Star break. So that's a big deal.
So Jay said extend Sandy for 5 more seasons. Also, Michael Peterson, that man is so special. Keep him where he is. He is so reliable as a relief pitcher.
Absolutely. And more franchise record. Otto Lopez last night set the franchise record for most hits before the All-Star break, 127 hits. Look, if you got 200 hits in a season, that's a really good. You're probably batting well into 300, which he's doing at 345. So 127 hits in the first half is a big deal. So again, congrats to Otto Lopez, one of the 2 All-Star representatives for the Miami Marlins.
Yes. All right. So let's just talk a little bit of World Cup here. We're getting towards the end of it. It has been an amazing World Cup this year. For everything from surprise victories to your star players just breaking records, Mbappe. So yesterday, here, let me bring this up for you guys first, and we'll show you where we're at. All right, so here, let's back up a little bit. USA gets knocked out by Belgium. It was just, they just did not look like they showed up that whole entire game. It was frustrating. I never want to eat a Belgian waffle again in my life.
And I won't be drinking Stella for a while.
Yeah, so story ends there for USA soccer. Hopefully they figure it out in 3 years and they'll be
4
back.
years. 4 years. Yeah,
4 years,
2030 would be the next one. Not sure where the next one is, but yeah, it'd be 4 years from this summer. It's very disappointing, and the reason why is because we were the host nation this year. We shared the host nation duties with Mexico and Canada, but man, if they were ever going to make a run, this was the year on home soil. Everything was there in front of them. And
250 America.
This is the 250th anniversary of America, last week. And just, it's a shame that they could not live up to the billing. And, when they needed to step up, they just didn't do it. It was an awful game, awful showing. And it just goes to show you that America, while they've been able to figure out we could compete in any sport in the Olympics, obviously all the major sports, football, basketball, baseball, we have dominant runs in every international competition here, but unfortunately, we cannot hold our own with the powerhouses of the world. And so again, their journey falls just short, and it was very disappointing. I got to be honest with you. I won't celebrate the run. Proud of our team, always proud of our country, always. But man, this was the year to get a little bit further and expect a little more.
Yeah, but again, the brackets and everything moves on. So yesterday, as you guys know, France defeated Morocco, and just like an hour ago, Spain defeated those Belgian waffles. So Belgium's officially eliminated. So you have Mbappe and France that will take on Spain. Then this weekend you have Norway and England, and then you have Argentina with Messi and Switzerland. So that's all you got left.
Yeah, no, you're down. It started with 48 countries, the most ever after expansion. It used to be 32. Now we bumped it up to 48 countries this year, and we're down to just 6 here with, as you mentioned, France and Spain are locked into the semifinal. Tomorrow, Norway and England will play at Hard Rock Stadium. Miami Stadium is what they're calling it with FIFA's rules. But yeah, Norway and England are going to play a monster game down here in Miami. Norway upset, shocked Brazil. It could have been Brazil and England. And England, of course, beat Mexico at the Azteca, at the Stadium Azteca. So that was a tremendous match as well. But you're down to Norway and England down here in Miami. And Argentina and Switzerland will be playing in the other quarterfinal game. And we're going to be down to our Final Four here. And the World Cup final will be in New York, New Jersey. And so that's coming up right around the corner.
Yeah. Okay, so
Well, who do you think's going to win? Sorry.
As you guys I've mentioned on the show many times, Mbappe is my favorite soccer player. So I am going for Mbappe and France. He has scored in every World Cup game in the last 19 or 20 games.
Incredible.
He is extraordinary.
Nice.
I believe he is the best player.
Okay.
He is younger than these other guys. And there's even a rumor going around that he may end up playing with Inter Miami one day. And I can promise you think I bought that Giannis jersey quick? I will buy season tickets quicker than I could even get my credit card out. So I think France will come out victorious against Spain. And on the other side, you know what? Give me England. I would say England, Argentina. I'm over the whole Messi thing. Swiss would be cool to beat Argentina. But I'm going to go for France and England, a good old solid European matchup.
Okay. Well, I wanted the U.S. to go. I wanted to go all the way. I was rooting for the U.S., but I didn't feel that they would advance anyway. But I was hoping they would at least get to play Spain. Of course, they didn't get there. And look, I'm of Cuban descent, but my family and the Cuban bloodline goes through Spain. So I will be rooting for Spain. I'm not a hardcore Spain fan, but just because of that, I will root for Spain. They've won. They've won a World Cup previously, so here's hoping that they get their second. And I'd love to. I think it'd be great for the world for either to be Spain or France against Argentina. Right? Obviously, if it's France and Argentina, that's a rematch of the last World Cup, and that was tremendous. So either way, if you get those nations in, whoever's left right now, they're deserving, and it's going to be the biggest game in the history of the world, regardless ratings-wise. Everybody's going to watch that game.
Guys, I tweeted this the other day. I was texting Biggie about this earlier in that day, and we're like, do you know the training, this and that? And sure enough, an hour later came out. Here is your Miami Dolphins training camp schedule. It is something that we all look forward to not only see our team practice in action, but to sweat, but to also see each other. The first day will be on August 2nd. Members Day is on a Tuesday this year. Which usually it's on the weekend. So that is interesting. We'll be taking off of work to go to Members Day on the 18th. And then really looking forward to the joint practice against the Giants. They haven't announced the garage sale. I've had people ask me.
No, it is. They did announce it. It's on the email, the original.
Oh, it is? Okay.
I don't know the exact date, but it's on there.
Okay, because usually they have it here.
But no, it's on the 18th. It's the member day.
Okay. Because I wasn't sure because people who aren't members about going to that. So you guys, if the garage sale, which so many people love, including yourself. Yeah. That's like your.
You get to wear the actual gear from the players.
You
it's
get
pretty cool.
Everything, and then you give you this big black garbage bags. So you guys see it here. Tickets are free, but you need to get tickets. It is open to the public minus Members Day. So go ahead and get those tickets online. It's
a great time. They got giveaways. If you saw there, every practice has a theme. So whoever that sponsor is gives out giveaway items.
It's a good time.
They give out fans, these portable fans that you use to obviously stay hydrated. Free water. They have a bunch of samples. They give away towels to keep you hydrated.
A lot of giveaways.
And cool. So it's a great time if you've never been out there. What's Chase is saying something about?
He's saying that Bam Adebayo and Tyler Hero got into a fight in Vegas.
That is
Sam's
wild.
reporting the altercation occurred at practice court in a Las Vegas hotel this morning, sources say. Stating when Bam Adebayo approached Hero about the comments the guard made criticizing him. Yeah, we mentioned criticizing the center on social media.
Somebody took screenshots of an alleged conversation where Tyler said that Bam wasn't a real superstar or a real number one player, and apparently took exception.
Yeah, Cap's like, is this true? Yeah, what we're hearing is they got into it.
Yeah,
Tyler runs his mouth all the time.
Yeah, look, you never want to see that because at the end of the day, those guys again played together for a long time. They were drafted in back-to-back drafts. They both went to 2 NBA finals together. They fell short, but they had a great run.
Heard Bam knocked Tyler Hero out.
You never want. Well, obviously, that would be my guess, unless
Tyler from the streets, little Eminem.
Tyler's a jiu-jitsu fighter or something, but that's you don't want to see that. So that's unfortunate, but this appears to be true. And so Chase, thanks for breaking that in. That's pretty crazy.
Speaking of Vegas, which leads us to our last point here, guys, we have our upcoming Las Vegas Fins Asian trip coming up. We will be heading to Las Vegas in 2 months. Actually, 2 months from today, we're flying out to Las Vegas. We're offering a stadium tour, but it's sold out. It's sold out within a few days. It's a private tour, and unfortunately, there's no more spots. And then we'll be hosting a pool party at Stadium Swim on Saturday, September 11th or September 12th. I apologize. And there are still spots for that. You buy the tickets online. If you're interested in premium seating, we have some. But again, the tour that we have of Legion Stadium, we are sold out of spots. But of course, join us at the pool party the next day.
Yeah, and so if you signed up for the tour, we're going to give you all the information as to where we'll meet up, which will likely be right outside the stadium. We are also planning a get together after the stadium tour. We're working with that bar, a couple bars, depending on their green light. We may open up to the public, or it may just be private, because again, depending on seating and arrangements, and we're expecting a lot of Dolphin fans in town for this game. The opening game could have Fernando Mendoza making his NFL debut in a beautiful stadium on the Strip in Sin City. So lots to get excited for.
Yes. All right, guys, you got one job tonight. Watch those fighting fish. Game starts in an hour, less than an hour. Tune on TV, listen on the radio, stream it, support them. They deserve it.
Yeah, get out there and support the team. Look, baseball is America's pastime. I know that the NFL has taken over, and now there's a tremendous buzz for the NBA. Of course, down here with the Florida Panthers winning 2 cups, everybody's crazy about the Cats, and I understand, but look, this Marlin team is playing their tails off. Yeah. They're very exciting. They got great personalities. You mentioned Michael Peterson, Sandy, Yuri, Otto's great.
Javi, we met Javi this week.
Fantastic.
Oh my gosh, the whole team's amazing.
When they get on base, they do a bunch of dances. Not quite like Chase does his dances, but they do dances.
They try to copy off of Chase.
They try to copy off Chase, but they do great dances. There's just a lot of chemistry on this team. We're hoping that ownership will do the right thing and add talent to the team. The trade deadline, is coming up here, and hopefully the Marlins are buyers at the deadline, because Jansen Junk came back last night to round out our rotation. We're still 1 starter short with Chris Paddock didn't work out. That experiment was horrible, and Robbie Snelling got hurt. So we're still down a starter. We're hoping that we can be buyers at the deadline to bring another arm in. And we could use some arms in the bullpen as well, because Anthony Bender and Nardi are still out. So we need some help in the bullpen. But, hey, despite all the injuries, despite the demotions, the promotions, they keep on winning. It just keeps on moving. They keep swimming along. So definitely get out there and support the team. They need it. If you haven't been out to a ball game in a while, now's your chance.
Do it on the weekend, too. Okay, during the week, maybe it's traffic. It's hard for you to get there from Broward. But you know what? The weekend, you got nothing going on this weekend. Last week was 4th of July. It's in the middle of the summer. Get down here.
Absolutely.
We'll be there tonight. Well, hopefully, we're leaving now. And on Sunday. So see you at Learn Depot Park.
Yeah, absolutely. And guys, again, if you're watching this over on X or Twitter, head on over to YouTube and hit that like button. Subscribe to the channel if you've not done so already. It's completely free to do so. We work hard on putting this show together. We take great pride in doing it. We love interacting with everybody out there. Love to hear your opinions. So definitely hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, completely free to do so. Help us out. Ashley put together a great video today of the Disney All-Star Resort.
Yeah, Big Sis Lee saw it.
Yeah, by the way, if you are a sports fan like we are,
or Disney,
and into Disney, go out there. It is really cool. Specifically, their baseball section. They have a swimming pool that's shaped like a diamond.
We'll talk about it next week.
Yeah, we'll talk about it next week. But check out her video. It's up there and running, along with her famous Giannis number 34 jersey video. That got a lot of it trended a lot on
it's mine
on Facebook, and then people were not saying the nicest things, but hey,
they're cockroaches.
Laughs with them, because she's going to hold on to that, and it's probably going to be a collector's item worth some money. So somebody already offered you some.
Yeah, it was offered like $350.
Yeah,
and we paid $100 since it's the used size, so that's a $250 profit.
I say no deal. Hold on to it. No. You could probably get more.
He just wants it because I wore it. Yeah, give me more.
There you go. But all right, guys, have a great weekend ahead. Again, if you are in South Florida, make your way down to the ballpark. As Chase said, there is AC in the building, so you can't go wrong. Yeah. It's nice. There's a roof, AC, so get on out there, support the Fighting Fish, and 100%. Have a great weekend, guys. Enjoy. We'll see you shortly. And go Marlins, go Fins, go Heat, go Panthers. Have a great weekend. Take care, guys.